Like, how did you even come up with this?
It's something I had heard like a long time ago, like in the back of my brain. Someone was like, "Oh, I wrap my windmill palm in Christmas lights at all winter to keep it warm." It was when I was up in North Carolina, and I was like, I got these Christmas lights. It's going to be cold. Let me give it a try."
What's up, good plant people? This is Mario, and we're back for another episode of the Plant Nerd Podcast. And I have Plant Nerd royalty with me. We have Michelle, the millennial maven herself, Devin, the Don of the North Florida Garden, and Kata, the queen of the Perennial Garden. Thank you so much for being with us today. We got a big recap. We've taken many days off. We have lots to talk about. We were on the road, 3 cities in 3 weeks, 3 trade shows. We had the first right off the bat.
Actually, right? Because I was in a different one than you one time.
We have 4. That's right.
4. Yeah.
So we did the show in Baltimore for Mants. After Mants, there was Green and Growing in Greensboro, North Carolina.
And I was at TPIE in Miami.
What does TPIE mean? What was there?
Yeah, that is TPIE is plant heaven. Sorry to tell you that Greensboro is a lot of fun. TPIE is like the best. TPIE stands for Tropical Plant International Expedition, something like that. But it is all foliage. It is all houseplants. It is the most amazing booths ever. I'll definitely get you some pictures to throw in there right here. You see all the new like best plants that there are. You know, like last year everybody talked about what is that, Monstera? Devin, you help me out here.
The caladium. The one with the pink in the middle? Oh, no.
The Thai Constellation.
Constellation.
Thank you. So, like, last year, everybody talked about Thai Constellation. And, like, this year, you can obviously tell everybody loves this trade show. I'm not a houseplant person whatsoever. But I will show you a lot of great pictures right there. There was, like, some really, really cool stuff going on. They bring like the biggest stuff ever. Like there was like Thai constellations that were taller than me. There was Pink Princess, like, you know, 7-8 feet tall, like trailing up this like thing. It was so amazing. At the end, the very last day, you can actually go buy the plants. Every other trade show, and I think we told that to Michelle, is that you get a lot of freebies. TPIE, you don't get freebies. You get, you know, little teeny tiny specific new philodendrons for like $1,200 in a quart pot. But you will be the first one to have it. But it's been so cool. Really great.
Well, so TPIE, indoor plants, Miami, Green and Grow in North Carolina, outdoor plants. Right after that, we had Gulf States, which was in Mobile, Alabama. Very similar. And each one of these have literally hundreds, if not thousands of vendors. Many of them growers. Many of them sort of allied vendors supporting whatever the industry was. And then they also have a lot of workshops. So if you're really, really interested and you live in and around these areas, so it was Baltimore, Greensboro, North Carolina, Gulf States, which is Mobile, Alabama, and then of course Miami. You can attend these even outside, like even amateurs can attend and book a tour of some of these workshops and really just learn a lot by just seeing all the industry. That's what's everything is just so mind-boggling to me, is just how many people make their living growing something or helping the industry that grows something. So Kata, you got to see TPIE. Devin, you actually did Mants, Green and Growing, and Gulf States. I did those sames. Michelle, you didn't do any of it.
No.
Just massive FOMO.
Yeah, I held down the fort, doing nothing. Yes.
Okay, good.
We might want to tell also that the main thing was that the 3 of us, Devin, Mario, and I, were actually connecting at 2 of them. So
Yeah.
I really, it was so sad
Yeah.
you couldn't come. I really
know.
want to do that once.
I really appreciated all the pictures in the middle of the night.
I really will say, like, talking about we should go to a show together.
Yes.
I really think that we should go to one where none of us are working. Like,
Yes.
so actually during January, there is also the world largest trade show. It's in Germany.
Of course.
It's called IPM, the International Plant Messe. Messe is trade show.
Okay.
That one, you think you've been to a big show in the US, you haven't been to IPM. It's like about 5 times the size. You have cut flowers, you have all the machinery, you have all the shrubs, the perennials, the annuals. It is all in one. It is absolutely unreal. It's at the worst time possible to visit Germany.
It's freezing, right?
It is freezing. I saw some pictures of people going there. It was 2 weeks ago when we were actually in Mobile. Germany was going on. It's in this very boring city, but you know, you're just with thousands of people. I totally think this should be a life goal to take the Plant Nerd podcast to IPM
Germany.
Essen.
Well, I mean, now that you've given those good townspeople such a wonderful accolade, they're probably going to have a parade for us coming off the plane.
Welcome to the most boring town, plant nerds.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so here, let's get into what were some of the top 3 coolest things that you saw. Devin, I'm going to pick on you first.
Okay.
You went to 3 trade shows. What are top 3 things that super impressed you with the trade shows this January?
Definitely, I'd say the coolest plant was the burgundy leaf hydrangea, the Eclipse hydrangea. That thing is so cool. That was definitely one of my favorites. I actually got one, so I just planted it yesterday.
Look at
Did you get it at a trade show?
Yeah, I got it at Mants. So
Oh,
I went up and talked to the first edition people and was like, oh my gosh, I really want this hydrangea. I was like, are you going to have one left over that I could just have? And so he's like, come back and see me the last day. And so I ran over there and got that. So
What was the other cool thing that you saw? What was number 2?
Number 2 was, I think, actually, Mobile was a lot of fun. Not just us, but the cool thing for me is I ran into this is kind of one thing I like about trade shows is I run into people that I used to work with, or you just run into old friends in the industry. So, you know, I don't know if I should say this, but it's like every time I walked up to the bar to go get more drinks for Kata and Mario, because you know, Mario was the bad one, not me. Every time I walked up, someone was buying me drinks. I never bought any drinks. I just knew this person, and they're like, "Oh, let me get you
Oh my
drinks."
god. Devin, you just I
Wait.
guarantee you people will hear that and you are paying for
Wait.
Yeah.
So, Devin, not only did you sweet talk your way into plants, you also sweet talked your way into drinks, is what I'm
Yeah.
hearing. Like you're just
So
the king of schmooze.
So
that's it.
What
it's
you gotta
like-
do.
The Don.
Somebody else talk.
Everybody had to kiss the ring of the Don, you know?
So
All right,
that was
Devin,
that
what's
was
number
fun.
3?
Number 3, I guess, would be
Let's make it plant related, not drink related.
plant related. Oh my gosh.
It cannot include Red Bull.
I was thinking, Mario, what was the name of, this isn't really, I guess, plant related, but what was the name of the people with that soil machine, that filler that we had dinner with?
Yeah, Tom.
and Ashton.
In Ashton. That, I think, was really cool, because, like, we kind of became friends with them. I guess this, and I didn't follow the rules, this isn't plant related, but we kind of made a friend. We met them at Mants, and then they went to TPIE, and then we got to meet up and hang out with them again in Mobile. So that was really cool. Now we have a connection. So
I just want to touch on that too, because essentially what it is a machine in which you pour soil into, and it'll put it into a pot, and you can put your plant start into the pot, and it automates some of the process and some of the manual labor of putting soil into a container to create kind of a assembly line for that crop. And I think one of the things that I'm most impressed about that is because when you look at some of these people that are holding their booth at the trade show, the average age was like 65. It still skews really, really old. And machines like that really usher in the new generation of growers, because they need a few more machines to get, acclimated to a very physical profession, first off. But I think that those types of machines really do cater to the next generation of growers. And I'm so glad that they're doing what they're doing. And it's a great product. And if you're thinking about getting into this profession and you're young and you want to streamline and really optimize your efficiencies, I think you need to look at some of these machines. And we'll put that company in the show notes, and maybe we can get like a little demo video that we can kind of share in the podcast. So
yeah, the thing that I like so much about that product too is like a lot of the big growers like Monrovia, Metrolina, they have like these giant automated machines, where this machine is more tailored to like small to medium sized growers that probably can't afford that big machine, but this was just really a time saver for them. So I like the fact that it kind of helped out medium to small growers. So that was really cool to me.
But, I think you just touched on a totally different subject too. Like, part of the cool thing with trade shows is not just seeing the cool plants. Like, obviously we love plants and we love like seeing new innovative product, but you met a person, like a person with a passion. And like when we met them, the owners of that company, they were just so passionate about making the industry better. And every time we go to a trade show, I feel like I come home with 2-3 new friends. And that, I think, makes this industry so extremely fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're excited. We're going to meet up at the next one. Cultivate.
That's right. All right, Kata, you went to TPIE, you went to Mants, you went to Gulf States. Give us a top 3, and then I'm going to do the same, and then, let's keep moving.
Okay, cool. So I definitely rambled a little earlier with TPIE. So while Devin was talking, I did look up the picture of that very, very cool new hot plant from TPIE. And it is a Philodendron caramel marble. So amazing. Absolutely. I think this is like, that next plant that everybody wants. I'll definitely show you all a picture. Should have been a little better prepared and show it to you now. But it's basically this variegated philodendron. Very cool. Then I would also say, I don't know if I can really give you a top 3. I feel like that's sometimes a little bit of a problem if you are in the plant world, that we get so many sneak peeks ahead of time that we kind of know what people have in the booths. I personally think we had a really, really cool booth ourselves for the Mangaves. It was an art gallery for TPIE, and so it was like 2 boards, and we had the Mangave go into the wall, and it was so brilliant. It looked so cool. We had like, it really was set up like you walk into an art gallery, and this new Mangave program is called Art and Soul. And then I think it's always funny when like people actually do come to those shows that are not industry people, because so many people were like, oh, are you doing indoor designs? And we're like, no, we sell liners. But I can totally see why you didn't see that. And yeah, so I don't know what my a third really cool thing. It was my first time going to Mobile, and even though that's like, right after TPA, you might think, oh, this is like a smaller show, a little bit more boring. But you always meet new people, and that's really the beauty of it. It was so fantastic to hang out with Mario and Devin, obviously, but also Devin introduced me to some growers that I've never really even talked to, and it gave me so much FOMO because, as we all know, this is my last work week in the US, and I'm leaving next week. So I was like, oh no, now I have this great contact and I want to work with them on this new perennial program and like help the South get better genetics, but I'm leaving. So yeah. But yeah, it was a fun 3 weeks. I will say I'm exhausted. Like 3 weeks in a row being on is a lot. It sounds glamorous, but it can be exhausting.
It is. It was a lot. And, So we have Scapify. It's a software for growers and garden centers to do e-commerce, and we had a booth. We're out there selling, and we're meeting a ton of people. I mean, that's one of my number one favorite is just people are curious now. I think the first time we did a show, people are like very kind of like, who are you? We've seen software people come and go. You're probably a flash in the pan. You probably think that our industry is easy. And for much of the team, I guess for the Gulf States and Mants, it was our second time going. So it was a second time having conversations. So it meant a lot more, and we got a much warmer reception. So it was our first time at Green Growin. It was a little colder. One of the things that I think is very special about this green industry as a whole is that it is a bit exclusive. It's not as inclusive as other industries, and I think that people like to be with other plant people. When you kind of reveal that and kind of express that, or at least acknowledge their plants and kind of what they do and find common ground on what they're growing or how they're growing or any of those types of conversations, immediately this very exclusive community becomes inclusive. They gotta know. You gotta have that sort of moment with every single person to feel accepted, and it's all centered about your love or passion for a plant, which I think is pretty magical. So we got to see that on the second time. I would say number two, I was really great. One of the type of vendors there are trade organizations from other sort of aspects. So these were kind of like statewide or sort of regional, and so they're collecting everybody. But then you have these national trade organizations like the Perennial Plant Association was at Green and Growing, and I got to really connect with Shannon there. And I just think that they're doing some really amazing work. And Kata, I know that you're the queen of perennial, so I'm just kind of like, I know you're going to chime in here in a second, but they have the Perennial Plant Association has a national symposium July 29th through August 1st. It's in Asheville, North Carolina. I think, Devin, I don't know if you're going to go, but I think one of us are probably going to go and represent, at least be a part of the conversation. We don't have to booth or sell anything, but really I think it's probably a pinnacle place to learn, which is going to be a lot of fun. So
yeah, for sure.
Kata, have you ever been to one of these perennial plant national symposium?
I have been to many. In fact, I actually was part of the site committee when it was in Raleigh 5-6 years ago. And I always tell people, if it wasn't for PPA, that is like the short form of Perennial Plant Association, I would not be where I am today. Like, people wouldn't know me. I went to the first one when I moved to the US. I went to Minnesota. And I met so many wonderful, like-minded people. And even though you think, it's like a little bit exclusive until it's not, if you go to one of those things, you are included within a day because you are on the bus from 7 in the morning all day, like looking at growers, or you do like garden centers or gardens. There's different tracks, and you just meet so many wonderful people. And PPA is really like a plant family. You see the same people year after year. There's always new people coming in. I think they do a wonderful job with young people. If any of our listeners are young, they have a fantastic scholarship that pays for this whole thing. Like, definitely check out the scholarship. It is not cheap to go there. So if you're a young person, that's fantastic. But I really, really like PPA. You should check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. I'll put some information on the show notes. And then I think third, I was just really impressed. I got to brag on my team a little bit. Sal was amazing. This guy, Worth, he did such a good job. He's going to keep his job. He gets to come back to work on Monday. It looks like you have an intern in the back, Michelle.
Regardless of what I do, the interns pop up all over the place.
Oh, that's good. They always got your back. It looks like.
I know. I don't know. They might not have a job. I know. They might not have a job on Monday, though.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it's all Michelle knows. It's all about the team. It's all about the team, and
it's all about the team.
We just had such a good time. And when you go to some of these shows, it's good to go with other people. Not that you have to walk around the whole trade show with other people, but because there's so much to see and you can't really see everything and you can't talk to everybody. So when you go with somebody else and then y'all can come back and have dinner and trade stories, it's like you get to multiply your experience. Because I met this guy, and I met that guy, cool. That we could patch that. So that's really, I think, one of the fun things is going with a big team, seeing everything that you can, and then what you can't, pick it up from your teammates. So,
Michelle, are you convinced yet to like go work in the grain industry? I was like, when are you gonna start?
Gotta quit my job, guys.
Yeah, you would be so good at it too. Like,
would I? You're like talking me up already.
I know.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, Michelle, what were you doing those 3 weeks? I mean, all right?
Listen,
for
guys,
real. Michelle, we want to know. What was and is growing on? I
have been doing things in the garden so that I could report for when you asked me that question. So I started seeds. I'm completely ready for the 2024 garden season. I kind of just start seeds all at once, and I'm not great with, starting things that are, say, 6 weeks out, 4 weeks out, 2 weeks out. I'll just pot up instead. But all of my seeds have been started for 2024. They're all under grow lights. I don't have any germination yet, so no great pictures to show. But coming soon, I will spam you guys with little baby seedlings.
I will have to say your little reel with your husband made me laugh so much. I was like, oh my God, I feel like so many people will be relating to this, like getting the seed order. And I was like, what? Sunflower.
Yeah, I know. He, the seed order came in and he opened the package before I got to it. And he was like, what? Why? You have a whole box of seeds. Like, why are more seeds coming in? And I'm like, well, they're different. These are different seeds. Yeah, I bet you can relate. Yeah, you can't just plant the same thing.
What is the one that you are most excited about to try?
So I'm like, what is the one? That's hard.
2, 3.
It's like children.
I know. How am I supposed to pick a favorite?
You didn't get any cool tomatoes or anything?
No, I've actually given up on all the cool colored tomatoes because they always taste bad. Sorry, really cool tomato breeders. But every time I try a berries crazy something, my kids won't eat it, and then I'm like, great, but it's a cool color. Sorry. No, so
it's Instagrammable.
it's super. Well, do you do the crazy tomatoes, Devin?
No.
So it's not just me.
I mean, it's mainly because, I should be good like you and start seeds, but, I should have probably already started seeds, because I'm probably
you're
going
the
to
Dawn
plant
of
North Florida,
yeah.
So I'm going to probably start planting my vegetable garden in 2 weeks.
Jeez. So. Okay, I'm growing feverfew this year, which is a perennial, allegedly. I don't know. Okay. It looks very cute. It's feverfew white pompon, I think it's called, and it's got a fluffy small white bloom. It looks really pretty. Okay. I don't know. It's probably. I don't want to be negative, but I feel like the first time I grow something, it's not a slam dunk. So we'll see. It's my we'll see plant for this year.
Hey,
everybody needs a we'll see plant.
Yeah, you gotta learn.
Exactly.
Try something new.
All right. Do you have any staples that you're working with on the seed front?
Yeah. So every year we plant sun golds, cherry tomatoes, and super sweet 100s or 1000s. One of those. The kids love cherry tomatoes, so we plant those. We also plant broccoli, like Devin. We're a broccoli eating family. And zinnias. Zinnias are the no-fail cut flower that always look good. But this year I tried. I ordered Queen Lemon Peach or something like that. Peach is supposed to be the color of the year, so I was like, let's get on board and try some peachy colored zinnias.
That sounds lovely.
Yes.
All right, Devin, your turn. We got to hear what's growing on.
Well, so, I mean, kind of in the seed thing, I'm hoping maybe to be able to get out before it gets dark here after we get done recording. I'm going to plant some onion sets because yesterday I'm still working hard at my garden resolution on weeding. So I got 3 vegetable beds weeded, so I'm going to tuck in some onion sets in them and try to give onions a try. So. But mainly I've just been weeding, mulching, putting out preen, getting ready for the season, pruning stuff back. So I had a big bonfire. We had a storm blow through while I was gone, and I had a bunch of limbs down. So we had a bonfire last night and burned a bunch of branches and
Well, that sounds
a
lovely.
pallet. So it was nice. Then we got 2 inches of rain today, so everything got watered. So
Now, you did some pretty innovative freeze prevention.
I did. So while I was in Baltimore, it got really cold here. Actually, no, it wasn't Baltimore. It's when me and my roommate Sal. Yeah.
What is really cold in North Florida? Sorry.
20. It got down to 22.
Oh, okay. That's legit.
Still kind of cold.
That's respectable cold.
It's a respectable
Well,
cold, yes.
especially given the fact what type of plants he has in his garden.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's all tropicals. Yeah. Oh my God. All the citrus got moved in the garage. I actually yesterday just finished moving out the rest of the citrus. So
That's
yeah,
a workout.
all the citrus got moved into the garage, including a lot of tropical plants. The garage was packed all the way to the door. You couldn't.
And I
even
think we
get
have some
in.
photos of this. So
Yeah.
That was last year. That was last
That
year.
was last year.
It doesn't.
It's even
doesn't
fuller
matter.
this year.
That's insane.
So we had to do all that. But one thing I wanted to try this year, so I just planted all my Mangaves, and it was their first cold that they had to go through. So I was already going to cover them with frost cloth, but one thing that I tried, because I had a box, as you can tell, I still haven't taken down my Christmas decorations. So I'll get to that one day. But I used Christmas lights, so incandescent Christmas lights, and I kind of laid it, I wrapped all the Mangaves, and then I have 2 tree ferns and some plumerias and some queen palms that I had just planted that are kind of borderline. So I wrapped their trunks with the Christmas lights and then covered them with frost cloth, and everything did great. I had no cold damage on anything. So I think just that little bit of heat from the incandescent just kind of kept it a little bit warmer under that frost cloth. So whenever you're covering next year, give it a try because it worked really good for me.
That is so fascinating. How did you even come up with this?
It's something I had heard a long, long time ago, in the back of my brain. Someone was like, oh, I wrap my windmill palm in Christmas lights all winter to keep it warm. It was when I was up in North Carolina, and I was like, I got these Christmas lights. It's going to be cold. Let me give it a try. And it worked great. So
That's awesome.
So
Yeah, I can't wait for those pictures.
yeah.
For
Yeah,
everybody
no,
to
they're great.
see.
I've seen them. All right, Kata, your turn. What is growing on? And I understand that you are in the midst of a move, so we're gonna go a little light on all the questions today.
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm moving in 2 weeks. This will be my last work week. So therefore, my life is crazy. This is also why I'm sitting on the floor already, recording, with my laptop is on a box. So really not much going on anymore, to be honest. I had my friend pick up all my houseplants. I gave them to a dear, dear friend, and my house looks oddly empty already now. I feel like it's just so interesting if you have a lot of houseplants, even though I'm not a houseplant person. My husband really loves them. But they were all gone, and we have a 6-foot monstera in our living room. That corner looks so weird now. So it's just when it's gone, you realize how much plants do for you. So it's been really an odd feeling. But that being said, I love grasses. Grasses has always been kind of my love. And I have a couple of panicums in my garden. And because we sold our house, I just felt like it's a little too early to cut them back. And I would definitely still leave them probably another month in North Carolina. However, I really wanted somehow that the new owners of the house will appreciate my grass collection. So I already gave them a trim. Just because they come back so much nicer if you cut them back. And you never know, like maybe the next owners aren't really into plants. I met the lady, she seemed really, really into plants, but maybe not a person that like knows everything about plants. So I just did a couple of things in the garden still just to make sure she like has a good first experience. And
Are you leaving her like a manual with instructions of like, here's how to?
no, absolutely not. I'm not that crazy. Also, we were really lucky. We sold the house to a friend of a friend type of thing. So I feel like if she would have questions about a plant, you know, she could reach out. Like I have her Instagram. I think the most excited I was when I met with a realtor. They were like, yeah, take out all those weird plant things. Like Bach gardens don't sell a house. No. You need like azaleas and a perfect lawn. And I was like, oh no. But because friends bought it, I was like, she might love my Bach garden. And then we met with them and we're like, this is the Bach garden. And I think it still did not click with her. And then my husband made it overcomplicated. He's like, yeah, that's the only thing you really have to water. And I'm like, stop it. Like, she might get overwhelmed. But yeah. But it's just funny how you have like this little teeny tiny area of where you're like extra proud of in your garden, right? And it's like not something anybody has. And so for us, this is like our Bach garden. But yeah, hopefully she experiences a first cool year. And I thought it was just like helpful to do a couple of steps a little prematurely. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on in my life.
Get the new owners hooked on those grasses so then they won't take care of them.
All the things.
So, good luck with the rest of the move. So, everybody, we have next week, I'm going to be on location in Cancun, Mexico. And I will, that's right. My wife had a conference.
Sounds terrible.
I'm just jumping into the luggage. That's it. I will give a little tour of whatever landscape the resort has for your FOMO pleasure. Okay.
Thanks.
It's early February, guys. We're doing seeds. We're getting ready. Everything's getting ready for that. So the countdown to spring is on.
It really is.
It is
crazy.
Awesome. All right. Well, I love having this conversation. We need to wrap it up. So, for the perennial queen, the millennial makeover maven herself, for the Dawn of the North Florida Garden, I am Mario, the host of the Plant Nerd podcast today, and we will see you next time. Keep going and growing, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.